Hello, listeners, and welcome once again to Tales from the Arclight. We return now to Hoard of the Cinder King, an Exandrian tale. May I reintroduce our lovely players and the characters they are playing?
Hello, I'm Nathan Dean, and I will be playing the character Errol Kane. He is a dark elf drow fighter at level 7, a gunslinger from a small town where he started as a sheriff and is now turning to a life more of crime. And I stupidly elected to do a cowboy accent all the way through this.
I'm Rebecca Reeg, playing Brenna Nimblecloak, a Ghostwise halfling cleric of the Changebringer. I'm a member of the class whose past is starting to come back towards her.
Hello, I am Claudia, also known on the internet as Gunner, and I'll be playing Olga Savagehand, Goliath, multi-class barbarian monk of the Cobalt Soul. She is a forever apprentice, only smash, pure of heart, dumb of ass.
I love it.
I gotta come up with something like that for Brenna. I like that. That's cool.
I'm sure you can workshop something.
I'm give me time. Yeah, give me about 5 minutes. I think 5 minutes.
I love it. Everything I could have hoped for. And so we return to Exandria and our tale, Hoard of the Cinder King. To bring us back in, this little gang of adventurers, mercenaries, ne'er-do-wells has had quite the busy time of it over the last couple of days. You've had an invitation to join a heist, which very quickly went off the rails when one of your cohorts, Reynard, betrayed you and made off with your prize, whilst also murdering one of the members of your crew, Telford Cornflower. Shortly after that, you managed to escape, albeit at the cost of the treasure, with the aid of your halfling cleric Brenna's call to a planar ally, a celestial in service of her goddess, the Changebringer. Shortly after that, you all got arrested by the Egmont City Guard whilst trying to get out of Dodge. And in the midst of this, you encountered this peculiar paladin, Siegfried Sturmdrang, who insists that you are the key to a noble quest that he is on. Between all these things, your desire to seek revenge against Reynard, the Council of Taldori's desire for you to aid in investigating a series of thefts of peculiar artifacts by a person going by the moniker the Heir of Cinder, and Siegfried's wish to go to the mountain of Gatshadow and deal with a cult of abyssal worshippers of the Chained Oblivion. You find yourselves now, having done some investigating, realizing that Reynard seems to have found some of the magical items he needs to perform some sort of sinister ritual that involves opening doors between dimensions. And yet again, one of your members has been laid low, stricken by the strange, symbiotic, almost parasitic force that was controlling one of the cultists that you encountered, another Azamar by the name of Dragor. And you've also learnt some interesting things about your new companion Siegfried. He is a paladin of the Dawnfather and is of the Azamar race, which is not itself a race, but he walks in the lands below as well as above ground with this sense of certainty, and like he was born to the life of an Underdark dweller, which is very interesting to both you, Brenna, and you, Errol, because he is very much the opposite of the kind of person that you two are in a lot of ways. And you are left to mull these conversations as he, having sent your companion Zebediah back to Amon astride Schleppnir, his fabled legendary mount that appeared out of nowhere at the beckoning whistle that he made. You are transported back to the Palace of Amon via his helm of teleportation. You find yourselves in the antechamber from where Allura had previously created the teleportation circle. And Allura is there waiting with Seeker Odessa Taldore. And there is like a look of some concern on their face. But Allura comes up to you and says, we received your message. Your compatriot has been sent to the Temple of Sarenrae to heal. They tell me that he is in some sort of coma. It may be some time before he comes out of it.
I feel like Errol is just going to be quite stoic's not the right word. More taken aback. Somber, that's the word. Thank you. Like, yeah, he's more somber, doesn't really say a lot. Like, he's just like, okay, like with his face, not so much with his voice. Like, he's just sort of like nodding along to this and just he just needs to have a lay down and figure out what the hell is going on and how he's found himself amongst all of this when not so long ago he was just sheriff of a small town and then decided to just change tack to see what the big city was like, and now he's amongst all of this. So yeah, this is he's processing a lot.
Yeah, Brenna's the same. She's just kind of she's the same. She's just kind of at this point where she's just like, I need a nap and alcohol in some order.
In that order, like a nap and then alcohol will just be poured on a napping halfling.
Hey, it might work. Just probably a bath too.
Allura looks at you and says, we should probably debrief on the situation before you go about and do what it is that, adventurers do. But I understand that this has been a very troubling situation for you. Of course, you will be provided with whatever food and rest and accoutrements you need to continue your quest. Zebediah will be at the temple. Hopefully he will pull through. The clerics of the temple are the best there is in the city at healing that we have. And Siegfried chimes in and he says, yes, whilst I am not of their faith, the reputation of the Temple of Sarenrae in this regard is well earned. They are a benevolent church that believes in healing, redemption, mercy, and compassion. They are of a kindred spirit with the Dawnfather in that way.
I'm not so worried about him. I'm sure he's in good hands.
I also actually feel like Errol, like,
I didn't want to interrupt as a player, but I feel like as a character, when Allura was like, do whatever adventurers do in that kind of snarky way, that he just brush past and be like, he goes and has a nap and drinks some alcohol and then just leaves. Like, I think he's done with this. Like, I get that she's like, we need to debrief and we need to do this. It's like, no, I need to lay down. I'm leaving now. Like, and is just done and walks. Because if I remember rightly from the last session, we have a vague idea of like quarters and things. And also,
Yes.
where I also need to give back bad news. So I think Errol's going to be more invested to do that as a kind of, I'm a man and I don't want to deal with my feelings right now that I watched someone else die, so I'm going to instead talk to another man about his guns, and I'm going to leave and ignore this woman. And I'm just going to storm off now, please.
Do you attempt to leave the chamber?
Yeah.
There is a guard posted on the door who steps forward in a slightly, not menacing, but just in a instructive tone. And Allura says, need I remind you, Mr. Kane, that until we say otherwise, your business here is not done. I understand that you are going through quite the busy time of it at the moment.
A busy time of it? Like my friend's in a coma.
And one of your previous associates was killed not 24 hours ago. And if what you have learned is not dealt with and made actionable, we may face an even greater threat going forward.
He looks to the guard and gives him a real like weighing up look of like, can I get past this guy and make sure that the guy knows that that's what he's thinking with his glance, and then is just sort of like just shakes his head and is just like just so unbelievably done with being frankly fucked about like this when they've asked them to do like an unbelievable amount and are still talking to them like they're just tools in their arsenal rather than as people that have tried to do something good today.
Make an insight check.
That's not good. 6.
On a 6, I think Errol is a little bit stuck in his small town kind of mentality.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't really appreciate the kind of the grander implications of what is going on around him.
Uh-huh.
So all of this feels very personal in the given circumstance. But I think there is just enough of a realization of you are basically, whether you like it or not, you are, in fact, a small cog in a big wheel.
Mm-hmm.
You are not really... The woman basically, not 12 hours ago, said point blank to you that you were expendable.
Mm-hmm.
So, clearly, whatever they need to do gets done, regardless of whether you cooperate or not.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever they need to do, that they want to happen, will have to happen whether you cooperate or not. But at least if you cooperate with them, you get to haggle over the price.
Yes, and I think this small town mentality, he's essentially seeing these guys not as some great order of wizards or whatever he's processing this as, but is kind of just seeing it as back when he was from that small town and he was sheriff, and he saw like how other law enforcers just did a piss poor job of just rounding up, I don't know, drug dealers, and he's seeing this as like, yeah, the stakes are higher, but it's still the same principle of like, you're doing a bad job of running the law in this town. And he's, again, taking it personally as like an affront to like the job that they should be doing better. Like, I think he's also annoyed that they've had to hire random people to do this. It's like, you should be more equipped. Like this is not the basis of a systems of government. This is not a way forward of how things should be done. But yes, I think he will meander to wherever he needs to go next to sit down and have this debrief or however it will go, and he will look sternly and annoyed in all directions.
Okay, so you are going to, under protest, go with the rest of the group, Brenna and Siegfried. You go to a sort of office situation within the... This is not Allura's actual wizard tower. This is more of a communal office kind of war room situation. There is a big table with a map in the center of the room. And I think between you, you start reeling off what has happened. You talk about how you encountered the cult of the Angel of Irons, aka the Chain of Oblivion, within the Mountain of Gat Shadow. You discover that they were looking for a particular item. You discover that they were attempting to find an item called the Talisman of Ultimate Evil. And this is very troubling to Allura because she's, as a high-level wizard, well aware of the significance of such an item. And you begin to piece together the idea that these are components for a larger working of magic, that they are being co-opted for a different purpose than what they are actually intended to be used for, but using the magic that is part of them towards a more specific end. You note that the Five Fingers of Discount has magic runes in it that are to do with moving things and acquiring things and attracting certain specific types of object towards it. That the talisman involves opening rifts. And you remember the spell book that Renard may even have valued higher than the Five Fingers of Discount, in that he was so cagey about giving it up. And I think, Brenna, since you were the only one present who got a good look at the spell book, I don't believe you have Minor Illusion, do you? Or do you?
Let me check. No. Sorry, no.
No.
I don't. Okay,
I'll say instead then, give me a history check. Actually, what would it be? Well, both of these are equally bad, but I'd say give me a history or an arcana with advantage, because you're remembering this, to sketch the kind of the exterior of the book, because there was no writing on it, but it was a very distinctive spell book, and because I want to say you got a nat 20 back then, I want to honor that nat 20 and give you a fair shot at trying to replicate what you saw.
16 total.
Okay. 16 is very good. You take a piece of charcoal and a scrap of parchment, and you make a pretty serviceable rendering of what you were able to see back then. And Allura looks at this somewhat crude but reasonably accurate rendering, and her jaw drops. And she says, Oh, no, not that. That can't... I have been looking for that for decades at this point, and it ends up in the hands of... Good God. And...
Can you cut to the bit where you tell us what it is?
I mean, it's a book.
She explains that this item is the Grimoire Infinitus.
So for me, so we have the Five Fingers of Discount, the Talisman of Ultimate Evil, and now the Grimoire Infinitus. So stealing an infinite amount of evil.
Allura explains, this item is a powerful spellbook that was created during the Age of Arcanum but only one of them has been found since the calamity ended. It has an infinite number of pages, is 3 inches thick by 8 inches wide, 12 inches long, and weighs about 3 pounds. And this particular spellbook is one of the vestiges of Divergence, a series of weapons and magical items that were created during the calamity to be used as weapons to fight the betrayer gods by the prime deities. And these were gifted to mortals. They were wielded by various heroic but also villainous historical figures throughout Tal'Dorei and Exandria's history. This one has been believed to be lost for centuries. No one has been able to find it, and not only is it a powerful spellbook in its own right, but mastery of this item has the potential to grant its wielder even more power. And the idea that this is perhaps being used essentially to supercharge Reynard, that puts him as potentially one of the most powerful wizards in Exandria, perhaps even rivaling Allura, if he figures out how to correctly use it. All of this is very bad news.
That's just a side comment. I really appreciate that this is a book of infinite pages, but according to that picture, it only has 4 page markers. Like, that's... that, you know, like...
The 4 most important spells.
I need to remember only 4 pages in this infinite number of pages.
Well, if one of them is Legend Lore, which I believe Legend Lore is one of the spells you can cast from, that's basically what, like, you know, that's like, well, I suppose Legend Lore does have its limitations, but once you have Legend Lore, that kind of has the potential to turn the campaign entirely on its head. So, this being the case, Allura is like, so we've established what items we know for certain that he has. There are other ones that he may have that we do not know the exact significance of. This is obviously part of a larger spell that has something to do with trying to locate elements of Thordak's treasure. But to what purpose? She's just twiddling her, like, braids, like, sort of very anxiously, like the way people toy with their hair or, you know, their nails or something when they're thinking or when they're agitated. She turns to you and says, "Thank you for bringing this information to me. It doesn't exactly solve the problem, but it gives me a pretty good idea of where to start. I am going to make contact with some associates of mine who may be able to help narrow down the possibilities going forward. I would advise that if you wish to relax and revel in your, fair to say, mixed success today, accommodations can be made for you within the castle. We have a very wide selection of wines in our cellar and some of the best cooks in the continent. We are not monsters. Yes, you are in our custody, but we are not going to shove you in a cell and force you to live on a glass of water and a crust of bread."
I mean, you're one of these fancy pants wizards. If you were collecting these things, why would you collect these things? Like, do you have any idea why you put these things together? What would you do with them?
Allura sighs heavily and pinches the bridge of her nose. It's frustration, but it's frustration pointed towards herself. because she is asking herself the exact same question and she's part of the way there, but she's not there yet. And she says, most wizards acquire magical items in order to augment or increase their magical power. A spell book is a tool in which we inscribe our spells that allows us to gain a better understanding of the nature of magic, to catalog it. But this Renard person is not a wizard, he's a warlock, and by most accounts seems to have some natural connection to magic by means that we ourselves cannot fully understand. He is attempting to grasp at something that may well be beyond his natural ability to safely wield. Perhaps these items are to allow him to more accurately or more safely do so. There are risks involved in any kind of spell casting, so perhaps this is his way of achieving a higher form of magic than he can perform on his own, that he is allowed to perform on his own.
Wait a second there, lad. Just go back to that last point. You say more safely to do so, which implies that he could already do this thing.
Oh, certainly not. But there is a reason why certain types of magic involve a ritual, a circle of teleportation, or the use of certain types of components, gestures, verbal components. These things focus the magic that is naturally in the world in order to use it to our desires and our whims. This specific type of magic is out of my direct sphere of... I am an abjuration wizard. My specialization is creating wards and shields and things that keep things out. This Renard, Hair of Cinder, whoever, is clearly trying to pull something in.
So, player me question, do we know whose patron Reynard's warlock patron is? Like, has he voiced that explicitly?
To you, no.
So, would we make an assumption it's based on one of the things we've already met? Or would we just be like, we don't have no idea whose Reynard's patron is?
Give me insight or arcana.
Ooh. I'm calling insight because it has way more. 15.
On a 15, Reynard is a tiefling. And tieflings, even the ones who aren't warlocks, have a connection to the Nine Hells that is part of their bloodline, is part of their lineage. In much the same way as a Azimar has some sort of connection to the celestial plane through their bloodline being passed down through generations, the Tiefling are a race of creatures that are the result of creatures from the infernal dimension crossbreeding with humanoids in prehistory. But this is not something that necessarily is passed directly down patrilineally, like Azimar, like Genasi. Tieflings sometimes just pop up randomly, almost like a recessive genetic mutation. There are some communities of tieflings in Exandria, but they tend to be very small and tend to live on the outskirts of society, unless a given tiefling chooses to go out into the world and make a name for themselves and be a person of interest or standing in the world. I think that's the most that you can get, other than to infer that whatever Renard's true face is, if they are somehow connected to the Nine Hells, but are also the spawn of Thordak, as it would seem to be claimed if this is the person who is the Heir of Cinder, you get this idea in your head of a tiefling dragonborn. And what would that even look like? And what would be the true face of such a creature?
Cool. And then my only other thing, and then I'll be quiet, is can Errol, with his detective skills, use, like with his sheriff skills, use the information at hand to try and figure out what it might be being used for? Not like an answer like, oh, it's going to be this spell, because he'd never know that. But like, could he piece together like, oh, he's going to be trying to unlock a door, or he's trying to summon a doobly-doo, like, because he can put the pieces together with like a warlock using wizard spells to either augment or expand his power on something that he needs to make that safe, that requires something that can steal anything, something that relates to all evil, and a book with an infinite number of spells within it that relate to betrayer gods, blah, blah, blah. Can he use this to kind of Sherlock Holmes his way to a loose answer as to what might be going on?
I'll say give me just a flat investigation to sort of look over the clues. I would say you have like access to like the notes that are present. Yeah, Allura's going to give you advantage with this. You are still under a level of exhaustion, so it's minus. You have been putting -1 on these.
I haven't, because I forgot. So
that would going forward, we will.
Well, whoops.
That's okay. So yeah, just so -1, but with advantage. Investigation or history, I'll say.
19. Oh no, I've got advantage. 1 second. 19.
Let's see if you can. Okay, 19. On a 19, something about, and this has come up already, something about the gem that was stolen. This was one of Renard's earlier jobs before you all met him. Something about that calls out to you, and Allura fixates on it too. She looks at it and says, there's something about this that is familiar. I need to find out more about this. I am going to make contact with some members of the Cobalt Soul within the city who will be able to give us access to their records, maybe do some digging. I believe this is the best we can do for the moment, but this could potentially be of interest. And you and Brenna and Siegfried are dismissed. You are allowed to go to your chambers. You are still under armed guard. It is implied that you should stay within the grounds of the palace and not go wandering off into the streets of Emon. Basically, the guard who has essentially been tasked with being your handler whilst you're within the castle just says, if there are any items that you of food or drink that you would like, please inform me, and I will see that they are provided to you in short order. And just stands at the door and stands to attention.
Brenda just makes a sound at that, and it's like, gilded cages. Pretty gilded cages.
I think on your insight, yes, you are aware that you are very much you are essentially under house arrest. That is true, but given your prior experience living amongst the clasp and being underground and being indebted to people, you are free to make an assessment on your own whether this is worse or better than what you had come to expect prior to this.
A pretty cage is still a cage. I mean, don't get me wrong, she's gonna enjoy this. Fuck, I got a person that's gonna bring me all the booze and food I want, and possibly a bubble bath. I'm gonna enjoy that. Wine will be asked for, food will be asked for, a bath is gonna be asked for, clean clothes are gonna be asked for.
The guard ruefully concurs and goes off to see to your various desires. The only thing that they would balk at this point is company.
Aw, darn, that was gonna be the next question I asked.
But
See how far we can get this to go.
But otherwise, you are provided for in full order. You eat well. You eat and drink to your full comfort. You are given fresh clothes. You are essentially in guest bedrooms. This is not like the honeymoon suite. It is a suite of rooms that are clearly for visiting dignitaries, but this is not like the grandest suite of rooms in the castle, but it is still pretty swish compared with what most of you would be familiar with. Is there anything you wish to do before you take a long rest, or is that basically it?
Errol's gonna do much the opposite of the halfling. He thinks he's not, though. He thinks he's gonna go really above and ask for loads and loads of things, because he's gonna when Allura was like, we're not just gonna give you crusty bread and water. In his head, he's like, that's pretty good. I'll take bread and water, and he's like, and I'll also have cheese with it. And he's like, I'm really indulging in this. But I think his actual main thing is that he's just gonna waltz off and hand back bad news to the man I have forgotten the name of, because I always remember the play. I always remember his Taliesin, but I can't remember who the actual character is.
Lord Percival. Lord Percival has. You ask Allura about this, and Allura indicates that Lord Percival has returned to Whitestone, and indicates that the standing orders are for you to retain bad news for as long as you require it, but that once the present situation, the present crisis is over, that is when you'll be called upon to return bad news along with your other equipment.
Oh, cool. In that case, then he eats his cheese like a queen, and he washes his face and then falls immediately to sleep.
Very good. Nathan, you take a long rest. On the conditions tab on your page, feel free to return yourself to neutral. You are now, when you wake, you will no longer be exhausted.
Brilliant.
So you all bed down for the night?
Yeah. Bruno. Get her fill of food and drink and then head to bed. And a bath and head to bed.
Mm-hmm. So you've had your bath. You're not going to sleep in your armor, in your usual clothing? No. Yes. So you all turn in. Siegfried, despite being this 7-foot-tall Azamar, basically opts to take the smallest of the 3 separate rooms that you are given. Can I get a perception check with disadvantage from the both of you?
Okay.
Got 17 twice on the die.
And let's see. 22 total.
21.
That's with disadvantage.
Yeah, I got 17
Yeah, I rolled
twice.
a 19. I rolled a 19 and a 16.
Okay. So the lower of your 2 rolls, Brenna, was still 22. Okay. I think lubricated by a goodly amount of wine, the 2 of you fall into a deep, restful, full-bellied sleep. The night passes. The dawn breaks over the castle. Errol, you wake up the following morning. you require less sleep as a drow than your average humanoid, so you get a good solid rest, and any lingering effects of the exhaustion or any overindulgence from the previous night, you are just fine. Siegfried likewise has slept. Actually, I'll roll one for Siegfried as well, just to be safe. That's a 9 and a 14. Oop, Jesus. Sorry, D&D one is going a bit wild here. Yeah, none of those is higher than a 50. So yeah, Siegfried has slept peacefully, and so you, Errol, wake up and you see Siegfried in the corridor. You don't see Brenna.
Would I find this odd? Like, what time is it? Like as you say, like I don't need as much sleep. So like, is this when everyone should be out and about, or like, would I just assume like she's up to something? Like,
do you give me an investigation, and Siegfried will give you advantage because he's going to help look for her too.
15.
You discover her bedroom is the door is unlocked. The bed has been slept in. All of her usual clothing and equipment is in a pile by the side of the bed. Brenna is nowhere to be seen.
So his first thought is pretty much along the lines of like, this is going to be almost 4 for 4 for all of us disappearing one at a time, and I'm not liking it. like I'm next. It's almost his thought in this instance. And then he is just in full on like sheriff mode. He storms back into the corridor, back to Siegfried. Where is she?
The guard who was manning the door is there, and Siegfried says to him, Where is Nimblecloak? Where is the halfling woman who was with us? And the guard says, I don't know. There was the shifts have rotated 2-3 times during the night. No one came in or out. Why is she not in there? And he's like, no, she's gone. She's... and the guard looks crestfallen. This is potentially the worst day of his life. This is demotion for sure. And he's like, I'll sound the alarm. I'll get a search party. We'll go for the castle. We'll find her. We'll find her. And runs off to do so. Yeah.
Errol is just like, for lol's sake, you guys run a fucking circus here. You guys run a circus here. There's God's sake. And what is there any indication of like a track I can follow, a scuffed marking on the cobbles on the floor, something that indicates that something awry, like that I can follow?
On that investigation, I will say you saw no sign of a struggle. Mm-hmm. All of her equipment, all her clothing and stuff that she had that was not like immediately on her person when she went to sleep is still in her room. And I think on that, you remember that there was an item in her possession that she had a thing called a scrying eye. And I think if you were to go and locate that, if you were to go and grab that item from her pack, you think one of you would be able to attempt to use it to locate her.
So I rummage through the pack, and do I find such a scrying eye?
You get to her equipment. There is a bag, a handy haversack. This is sort of similar to a bag of holding situation. You give me Arcana, and I think give it to me with advantage because you've been around Brenna long enough to sort of see how she uses this particular.
9. I got an 8 twice.
This is not complicated. You understand what a bag of holding is, so you kind of visualize this kind of crystal ball and reach your hand in, and miraculously the ball is at the topmost area of the bag, and you pull it out of there, and you have access to a scrying eye.
I go back to Siegfried because Errol is not magical, and it's just like, make this work. Do the thing.
He looks over it, and I'm going to say he's pretty familiar with this type of thing, so he's going to hold it and visualize Brenna and just whisper her name, and his eyes glow bright white for a second, and what he sees, and which he will tell you in just a moment, is he sees Brenna unconscious, tied to a chair in the middle of a warehouse somewhere in the port of Egmont. There are a number of shady individuals hanging around, and it appears that Brenna has been kidnapped by these individuals. On one of the ones nearest to Brenna is an older half-orc gentleman who has a hooded cloak. The hood is down, a distinctive branding on the back of his neck, not dissimilar from the one you saw sort of scarred over on Nine Fingers. And Siegfried kind of indicates what it looked like, and you are able to draw that conclusion for yourself.
Okay.
What do you do?
I snatch the scrying thing out of his hand and put it in. I'm assuming I'm fully loaded up with all my gear and stuff, so I put it in with my own bag.
I'd assume that by this point you are whatever equipment that you didn't have ready to go when you were kind of getting up and getting about. You are rapidly getting your 6 guns on. You're getting
I
coat.
I envision that Errol trusts this place as far as he can throw it. So, he would have slept with guns under pillow. He would have put everything back on his person the moment he left the room. There's no I'm gonna have an idle stroll and leave some of my stuff in there. No, he's fully kitted out all the time. There's thing in the satchel, and then he's just gonna storm off, heading towards the war room area where he knows everyone else probably is. And just doesn't say anything to Siegfried. He kind of he thought he kind of bonded with the guy during the fight, but now that he's again just this is just a shit show. He's done with these people.
Siegfried keeps pace with you and is just one moment, please. Caution is the better part of valor, my friend. There is no point rushing in to rescue Brenna without a plan.
I'm going to find my plan, and of all the people that should be saying that caution is the better part of valor, your guys couldn't even stay awake for an entire night and make sure a halfling wasn't stolen.
I am sure the guards did not intend for her to be kidnapped.
It's literally their job, sir.
They said that no one got in or out. These people are criminals. They are clearly very good at slipping in and out unnoticed.
Yeah, which is why you hire guards who are very good at preventing people from slipping in and out unnoticed. You don't hire guards that can only stop people that turn up, with what you can see are there. This is their only job. This is like that guy on the Jurassic Park credits, where it's all dinosaur tamer. It's you had one job, Steve.
I understand your frustration, but we are only 2 people, and I saw at least a half dozen, probably more people. We need more help.
That's why I'm heading to the war room, and then I just fucking storm off again because this is ridiculous.
I guess you head down. I guess as you come down the big staircase, you basically almost bump into Allura and Odessa. The alarm has clearly been raised at this point and have realized that something is up. And say, we got the message. I have scribed the castle. She is not here. And Siegfried says, we know she has been kidnapped by persons unknown. She's somewhere in the port of Iman, in a warehouse. We are setting off now to go and retrieve her.
Do we have any idea which warehouse, or is that vague and like there's no method of like going, oh, we're going here?
This is fairly close range, so Siegfried has enough kind of. You know what? I'm gonna roll a survival check for Siegfried and see how well he does. Oh, we'll say that's it. Jesus Christ.
Every feeling you possibly could have about one dice roll.
Yeah. D&D Beyond is really screwing up my dice rolls. I may have to go to manual, but yes, I will say between those various, like his brain like rapidly firing, he's like, I have a pretty solid idea of where I could find her. It looks familiar. I would know the place if I found it.
In which case, Errol just points like with his little finger and middle, like at his main, like his index finger, like aiming them both at Odessa and Allura, and then jerks a thumb at Siegfried and went, right then, you three with me, we're going to do this properly this time, and then just walks out, assuming they're just going to do what he says.
You start heading towards the entrance. Odessa and Allura kind of slightly bowled over by how brash you're being. I just do follow, but with an air of, you can't just order us into a fight with a bunch of hoodlums. We are not...
I just have, and you're going to come with me, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do this properly. We're going to do this in the old rodeo way. And just keep heading out. Like, he's full on, like, I know how to do this. You guys are all idiots. I'm going to show you how to do this as I used to when I was sheriff.
So you're heading towards the entrance, and it's around this time that two figures are entering, and Allura is just like, oh, finally, you're here. The timing couldn't be better. And in the entrance, you see two figures. One of them is a female, non-binary half-orc who is wearing sort of a teal knee-length jacket, has like very functional tied back black hair, short tusks, and carries a long chain with a dart at her hip. And this is Cressida Holt of the Cobalt Soul. And with her is Claudia. Why don't you introduce your character for the benefit of
Hello.
everyone?
So next to Cressida, you see a Goliath woman. She's over 7 foot tall, a lot thicker than the orc standing next to her. She's wearing a very similar kind of style, slightly deeper color monk robes. She has Goliath, so she has the tattooed like skin over her face, over her eyes, very thick. And you see that she has kind of braided dark blue hair, shaved at the sides, at the top, but back into the dreads are braided into like a braid that goes over her shoulder, and she has thick hand wraps. And though she's a lot taller than the person that she is with, she's kind of standing back and seeming a little bit more reserved and perhaps a little bit confused. But this is Olga.
Very good. So these two arrive, and there is a very clear and easy rapport, pretty much straight away between Cressida, Allura, and Odessa. You get the impression that these three know each other and work together a lot. This is clearly like the brain trust of this kind of portion of the Tal'Dorei Council, and they make quick pleasantries. And Allura says to Cressida, "I'm really sorry. Something important has come up. One of our agents, one of our operatives, has been absconded with and taken prisoner to the port of Amon. We need to retrieve them immediately, but I have need of your services right now in order to deal with the matter we discussed. And Allura looks up at you, Olga, and says, hello there. I am Allura Viserion, Arcanist. Are you one of the monks of the Cobalt Soul?
As soon as she's addressed to, Olga stands a little bit straighter and she says, yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. I'm an apprentice.
Allura kind of looks you up and down and says, well, and indicates Errol and Siegfried. Siegfried, who is himself about 7 foot, so you two are kind of on a similar level to each other. Olga, please, go with Mr. Kane and Sir Siegfried. There is a woman who is an associate of theirs who is in grave danger. We have things to discuss. We are counting on you to help in this matter. Can you do this?
Yes, ma'am. On my own? With these operatives?
Yes. Immediately. At once.
Yes, ma'am. And Olga just turns around and leaves.
Errol, initially was sort of taken it because Errol's lived quite a sheltered life, so pretty much anything that isn't drow, halfling, dwarf, human, anything that's a little bit more exotic, he's just holy shit. So he's all right, this is more weird shit. I don't know what's in his head. This is just more things I have to process. Looks when Allura's finished her speech and that there's things to sort out, he gives her a look of I've not don't forget that you were meant to be coming, and then sort of snaps his fingers at Siegfried and Olga for not the best introduction, not the best first impression. All right then, off we go. And then he's gonna just keep marching out and looks to Siegfried and says right, give us our directions. Where are we heading to?
I think Siegfried is going to, in the moment, he's this will require a bird's eye view, and he is going to his eyes glow with the sort of brightness of the dawning sun, and a pair of celestial wings made out of golden fire appear out of his back, and he holds out a hand to you and is care for a ride?
He initially wants to make some sort of comment of you could have done this. Why is this the first time I'm seeing this? And then does indeed just take it, but silently.
He holds you close and is hold on tight, and barrels down the long steps of the palace after Olga, and the two of you race through the streets of the bustling city of Amon towards the port. Becky, sorry for ambushing you like that. It will be worth it, I promise.
No. I like to think that she was passed out sleeping. She got kidnapped, and she's you know what? I'm just gonna let them pretend that they kidnapped me. It's fine. I got a handle on this. It's fine. If I got kidnapped, it's on the guards, not me.
For real. This was going to be opposed perception, disadvantage against stealth, and the person rolled a nat 20 for 28. So even on a 22, you didn't make it. I'm sorry, pal.
You're fine. It's fine. Like I said, she woke up about halfway through kidnapping and went, "Guards will stop this." Huh?
No, because they
Guards won't stop this.
During one evening.
Do the guards do this? Nope, they didn't do this. Okay, let's just see what happens.
Okay.
Just let it
Goliath
happen.
Monk is really cool, by the way. Goliath Monk is really cool.
Goliath, monk, barbarian, multi-class.
Sweet. I'm
Also,
really intrigued how that's going to play out.
I like the fact she doesn't know who she's gonna go get. She was just given a thing, and she's like, "Okay, I'll go." It's just running, and then these two people she doesn't know just fly over the top. In her mind, she's like, "That's a bird, man." Just has no idea.
What I really like is like, if this was like a TV series, we've had for like, I don't know, 3, 4 episodes of a TV series, just Errol and everyone else being like, this is a gilded cage. We don't like being here. I'm not following your orders. And then the new heroes turned up and it's just like, yes, ma'am, I will do anything you say immediately without question and immediately follow this Birdman and this annoying cowboy.
Just wait until she starts trying to steal his hat. So...
that he will be very angry.
Just want to check to see how bad my intelligence really is. Oh, relatively terrible.
So, whilst this is going on, whilst Siegfried, Errol, and Olga are racing through the streets to this potential conflict, Brenna, you are slowly coming to consciousness. Your hands are bound behind your back. You are still in the clothes you were wearing when you fell asleep. You have none of your equipment, but you do still have around your neck your holy symbol and your prayer beads.
Okay.
Give me a perception check.
Perception. Wow.
You are still very groggy.
That's even with the halfling.
What did you get?
I rolled a
that was
1.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That's even with the halfling.
That Zemnian red was a mean wine. You
I think it was aged poorly. Can't really see, got spots.
It may in fact have been corked, you can't remember. But as your eyes sort of become accustomed to the gloom, you see a number of burly figures dotted around. And there is one very skinny, lithe figure perched like a gargoyle on top of a box nearby. And into your periphery, the older half-orc figure that you encountered previously in the castle steps up to you and is just like,
Wakey, we gotta talk.
Alright. Well, shit, you guys learned quick on how to... Yeah. Morning.
The half-orc sort of sits down on a box like across from you at sort of eye level, his kind of hooded, droopy eyes kind of looking at you inscrutably, and sighs and shakes his head ruefully and says,
What am I gonna do about you?
Untie me, let me go back to my gilded present. That was nice.
The half-orc, his name is Garthok. He sort of looks at you and says,
I was under the impression, after our last conversation, that we had an understanding. You would help us retrieve the gauntlet. We have been keeping an eye on you. You've been very busy. You almost shook us for a couple of hours there until we realized you were over at Gat Shadow. And now you're back.
It's almost like I gotta keep up a, whole ruse of doing this shit for other people on my way to doing shit for you, so that way the people who are in charge don't think I'm doing shit for you. Follow my shit?
give me deception or persuasion at disadvantage.
I would just like to point out at this time, if we were sitting around a table and these were my dice, one of the dice would be going into the freezer, because that was a natural 1. That is the 4th time I rolled 1 into a 1. Just going into the freaking freezer.
Mercury retrograde's coming to an end. That's what I'm saying.
Whether or not you were really planning to go along with him in what you were talking about before, you're pretty sure that between your slight hangover, your disorientation, your clearly being on the back foot and coming off as being in a situation where you will say anything, he is not inclined to believe you.
That's fair.
He looks at you and levelly and he says, right now, it doesn't really matter what you intended to do or what you were gonna do. It's what you have done. At this point, you're rapidly becoming too much of a liability. So I am now put in a position where the choice is being made for me. I would prefer to deal with this as unmessily as it is possible to, but upper management is forcing my hand.
And he stands up and sort of paces back and forth a little bit and says,
so here's what's going to happen now. You are going to stay here, and a little message is going to get sent along to your friends up in the palace.
Alright.
And depending on how they respond to that message, maybe you get out of here with all your toes and your fingers intact. Maybe. If your friends can't retrieve that gauntlet in the next 36 hours, all your family is gonna die. Your kid, your sisters, your husband. You understand me?
I understand.
he nods and goes
Question.
back. Yes.
When you took me, did you take any of my belongings?
He gives a sort of a slight chuckle and is like,
You really think we would allow one of our most powerful clerics who were gonna kidnap to have line of sight of any of her magical items?
Okay. So, you took me from my room in the middle of the night, and you left all of my belongings there. So my group now thinks that I was kidnapped, not ran away.
We're counting on it.
Okay. Okay. Because they don't have the Council of Lamont or Lamont on their back right now. It's fine.
Give me intimidation. Just flat.
I'm a scary little thing of 9.
Wasn't
I'm not that scary. No, it wasn't. But it's a 9 total. I'm so scary. Rawr.
I think at this point the one member of the clasp who's like perched on top of the crates leers at you and says, "I could have slit your throat while you slept, but I had orders."
You could have. And I thank you for not. I really do. I really do.
You're most welcome.
I'll make sure they don't kill you. And she just kind of closes her eyes and leans her head back. I'll make sure you don't die. Don't worry.
Okay.
This scene really does feel like we've got a Hulk. Like I'm just expecting to jump through. Like there just needs to be one sinister line, and then like a bullet fly through, a Goliath jump through the window, and a guy go through the ceiling, and this would be perfect.
I will say, are you guys? Because at this point, the timeline's starting to sync up here. Are you guys going in? Are you going to try and go in stealthy, or are you going to just barrel through?
My gut says stealthy. That's Errol's original plan. It was going to be like a full-on Batman shit. Like let's take them out one by one, and then until we, yeah.
I'm so sorry, but I'm just gonna try and knock the door down.
It's just her arms are tied, her hands are tied behind her back. She's leaning her head back. She's just closed her eyes, and she's like, "I'll make sure that you don't die. Don't worry."
I will
go ahead, do what you gotta do.
I will say that Siegfried is willing to drop you, Errol, off in a position where you can. Because the way this map is going to be, because of the way this map is going to be laid out, give me a. I'll say, give me stealth with advantage.
Okay.
Because Siegfried is going to drop you somewhere where you have like line of sight through an external window, or something, or like you were going to be able to sneak in through like a skylight or something.
I got 16. I only got an 8 on the dice.
With advantage?
With advantage. I got a 5 on the other one.
Okay,
I did have this.
16.
Image though of like him hunkered down with Siegfried going like, "Okay, I'm gonna go around this room. You're gonna go through there," and then there's this Goliath going, just like through the door.
I'll say. Let me have a look at the pass. So 16. I'm looking at the passive perceptions of people here. I'll say, yeah, not most of these guys aren't very. Yeah, you said, was it a 16 or a 14 on stealth?
I got a 16 on stealth.
Okay, I'll say that's just enough to kind of like scooch past the passive perception of most of these people. So I'll say you will have a round of preparation to do whatever it is you want to do before actual initiative. So if there's anything you want to do before initiative, you have one round. Action, bonus action. If you attack, it will just trigger initiative. But if you want to do anything with your action, your bonus action, or anything like that, based on your kit, I will give you a round's grace to do that on that.
How is Brenna tied up?
Tied to a chair, arms behind her back.
With rope?
Yes.
Right. Can I be a cheeky bastard? And would you argue that I could use a disarming shot to...
You could certainly try, but if you I will say if you like, that is a choice you can make. It might, if you miss the DC, yeah, that's going to be some homebrew rules shit, because there is a.
That's why I'm here.
Mine and Becky's regular DM has homebrews about like missed shots and collateral damage, like friendly fire. So if that's
he's got
something you want to do, if you want to hit a specific DC without hitting the rest of Brenna, I will say that is going to be a pretty high DC.
Can I get
to
a
do
number?
that?
Like how high are we talking? Like, are we talking like, ooh, 16 is high, or are we talking like it's a 40? Are we talking like I have to be Ali Beardsley rolling a single D20 on a DC of 600? Like, what are we talking?
I would say, Brett, you have, what's your armor class without armor?
Without armor.
Leather armor.
15. 13.
I will say, how does this work? I will say, I'll say that that's a DC 20, because that's like a good 5 above. That is, well, it's not impossible.
It's not impossible.
But if you roll, here's the thing: if you roll a misfire, then you just misfire. But if you miss 20, but it's between 15 and 20, you will hit Brenna.
Okay,
well, between 15 and 19.
It's a plus.
So
I get a plus
11.
I get a plus 11 to hit with Ulm here.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
So I would need to get.
gonna...
What would I need to get? Someone do maths.
9 or above.
You would need
9 or above.
9 or above.
That's all right. That's fine. You'll be fine with that. Nothing could possibly go wrong with that. Because I can expend a charge on Ulm here to make it silent. Then use... Yeah, and then try and use a grit point to...
You're going to use a grit point to do the disarm shot.
To do disarm. On a hit, the creature takes damage and must succeed on a strength saving throw or drop one held object of your choice. And I'm trying to be cheeky about that and say that the ropes are held objects.
I will say that because I will say that I will allow you to burn the grit point to do this as a disarm shot. But the consequences of this are if you roll between a 4 and an 8, you are gonna hit Brenna. But
this is boxer.
But you are
3 and 8, but yeah.
Okay.
EC 13.
That is true.
Okay.
That's right. Yes.
Well, so technically 2 and 8, but yeah. Just roll a 1, please.
Yeah, yeah. And in my head, with Olga bashing through the door, we try and sync this up. Like,
okay.
If you'll allow a bit of a retcon of the plan. Either Olga's just bursting through a door and that's it, and I'm happy with that. But like, if it could be synced up so like he's like, bang, we're in there.
You have a round basically to like time this, so I'll allow that this is going to be right on the button.
Right. Okay.
So
here we go. Right. I need to get a 9 or above. Right. And if I get between a 3 and a what?
It's so between
AC 13, so between technically a 2 and an 8, you hit me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Wait,
right.
Those odds aren't bad, he says, knowing nothing about odds.
Just roll the bloody dice, Nathan.
18 on the dice plus 11.
Well done indeed.
So in my head he's dropped through the window, gets into position, lines up the shot, puts on the spell that's built into Ulm here that makes it silent, and then deep breath in, slow exhale.
Textbook shot. High stakes, trick shot with a silenced gun, you put a bullet through the ropes, and it... Now, the shot itself doesn't make a sound.
Mm-hmm.
It hitting the stone ground and pinging away off into the distance does alert the various goons that are present. And right as they are like, huh, what? And look up, the doors to the warehouse explode open as Olga and Siegfried slam through the door. I need everyone to roll initiative.
Sweet. Oh. 10.
20.
13.
There we go. So, at the top of the initiative, we have Siegfried with 23, with the clasp rogue, the clasp cutthroat, I should say, on deck. So, Siegfried is going to use his movement. He's got 30 feet of movement. Yeah, he has 30 feet of fly and a foot speed. So he's basically going to use all of his movement to get to here. And he's going to use an object interaction and pulls out your haversack and your equipment and toss it to you, Brandon. And you are free to use that at your own discretion on your turn. And what can he do? I'll say that's his... Yeah, I'll say that's an object interaction. I think he's going to do... he's going to cast Fear on the nearest... each person in a 30-foot cone. Let's see what a 30-foot cone looks like. He's going to cast it on these two over here by the crates at 3rd level. That's a 13 wisdom save. Let's see what these guys can do. Let's call it 4. Let's call that thug number 4 and the cutthroat. So you. Not very wise. So both of these guys are gonna... So the thug on the direct 3 o'clock of Brenna and the cutthroat are going to need... one needs an 11, one needs a full 13. So let's roll for one of these guys. That's a 4. And another one... That's a 12. Both fail. Both are under the effect of fear.
Yep.
Woo! That's what we like to hear.
So, fear spell must take the dash action and move away from you by the safest available route on each of its turns, unless there is nowhere to move. If the creature ends its turn in the location where it doesn't have live sight to you, the creature can make a wisdom saving throw. On a successful save, the spell ends for that creature. So I think Siegfried just stands there and is like, I think you folks should reconsider your line of occupation. And just waves of holy light emanate from him as his wings spread up aggressively behind him, and this kind of gargoyle class member that was previously talking shit to you, Brenna, just is, and along with the person next to them, is going to attempt to flee out the back when it is their turn. So that is Siegfried's turn. Brenna, for purposes, you are under the effects of his aura while he's in proximity to you, so if you need to make a saving throw, take that into consideration.
Okay.
Who is next in the initiative? I
The
believe
very man that
that's-
is scared.
Yep.
The cutthroat starts booking it out the back. Is going to move. They are going to now see that as essentially a rogue, they can dash as a bonus action anyway. So they are going to fully just say nope, fuck this shit, and attempt to flee. So they will take the movement penalty and just flee that way, which I believe, that's easily. So they are just gonna.
I'm leaving.
Indeed. And you see Garthok just is like looks over his shoulder with a look of just utter disdain. And is like, you can see in his mind he is making a list at this point. And I'll also, you know what, I will say, just to kind of like streamline it, like those two do indeed just like flee on the same initiative, since they were both hit by the fear effect first. Which brings us to Garthok, who is seeing that this happen, is just going to psych himself up and say,
You know what? You think you're pretty scary, huh? I can be scary too.
and he picks up a warhammer and is going to take a run at Siegfried, and is going to try and see if he can hit him. Ooh, and with a 23, he does indeed hit him. And he's going to do 10 points of damage. And he's also going to do Intimidating Presence, which, when the Enforcer hits a creature with a melee attack, the target must succeed on a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw or be frightened until the end of the target's next turn. The Enforcer and its allies have advantage on attack rolls against any creature frightened in this way. So this could be potentially bad, but Siegfried's got a lot of really good saving throws. Let's see if he can make a DC 15. He just makes it. With a 16, Siegfried just makes it. So yeah, Garthok is up in the mix with Siegfried and Brenna. That brings us to... So you are out of there. So that brings us to the end of Garthok's turn. That would be Olga's turn with the goons on deck. Olga, what you doing, pal?
Well, I have to do some kind of check to know who I'm supposed to be saving and who I'm supposed to be attacking at this point.
That's a really good point. I'm here. What's happening?
Like, I know the Birdman's okay, but I don't know who this other person is, and I don't know who these men are, so...
In short, here's the thing. You have a 14 passive insight. So you might not be book smart, but you can tell the difference between good guys and bad guys when you see them. These people have a small halfling woman tied to a chair that the big glittering knight in shining armor has immediately swung in to protect. And this big kind of half-orc guy in a black cloak has just smacked him with a warhammer and tried to intimidate him. And I think something in like your brain is just like, bad guy, bully.
Yeah, I may be dumb, but my eyesight's pretty good.
Indeed. So yeah,
I want to go right up to the guy directly below me.
Yeah. Okay. So you have 40 feet of movement. So yeah, that's no issue. So you're gonna close with him.
Yep. I'm gonna bonus action go into a rage.
Okay. Bonus action rage.
And I'm gonna swing with the glaive.
Okay.
That's the mild mannered this started. Like, yes, ma'am, I will go do that. Bash through a door, smack him out of the head with a glaive.
Yeah, that's a 25.
I'm gonna say, that 25 definitely hits. Yeah, definitely hits. Easily hits. So,
good.
Go ahead. Roll damage.
15.
15 points of damage.
And that'll be it for me. I already used my...
Okay. Cool. So 15 damage. And you use the glaive on him.
Yes.
Yeah, so you take a big swing at this guy and give him a mighty cleave across the chest, and he looks around and goes,
Whoa! What the hell?
and just this quickly being ganged up on by someone, not just one, but two people who are twice his size, has kind of put him on the back foot here.
Good.
So that's your turn.
Yep, that's me.
So, yeah, we've just had that. So, yeah, so it's the Fug's turn. So we've had one of you has fucked off entirely. So you are out of it. I'll just say the bottom one doesn't get to take a turn. So these guys are fucking. They've just seen one of their actually proficient, basically the equivalent of a rogue, fuck off, and now seeing these two big ass Goliath and this Azamar just swing out of nowhere. I think I'm gonna make it an honest luck roll for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna make some rolls here and see. Somebody call high or low.
Low.
So you want low. So of these guys, this is going to be 5 low is going to be how many of these guys just fuck off. So 1, 2, 3 of these guys, and I'll say it's the ones closest by because they are the ones with the clearest shot of what's going on here and are nearest the exits. They just fucking scarper. They are not about this.
Ha!
That seems fair. That changes what I'm going to do, though.
When you have access to bad news, which has a much higher range increment, but so 3 of them fuck off, and the other 2, who I guess are either braver or stupider, are going to use 30 feet of movement to get here, and then this one's going to stay put. And I think they're going to train crossbows on you, Olga, since you look like the softer target. Does
Do it.
Does a 12 hit?
No.
Does a 21 hit?
Yes.
Half expected, I don't know then.
Is there anything you can do about that on your turn, or does that require?
I'm gonna use a reaction for sure, but tell me my damage.
Sure. 1 second. So you take 7 points of piercing damage.
Halved.
Okay. So that would be 3.
3. So I'm going to use my deflect missiles attack as my reaction. So I'm going to reduce that to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's small enough to hold in one hand, so I'm going to catch it. And I'm going to spend 1 key point to make a ranged attack with that arrow right back at him.
Oh.
You love to hear it.
Give me that ranged attack roll.
16.
16 definitely hits.
All right, and that'll be. I have the damage right here. So that'll be 6. 6, because that doesn't count as my strength weapon for rage. So 6 damage right back at him.
He takes it. This guy fires a crossbow at you. It one of them misses you entirely, and the other one you
catch it.
You catch it in midair and do some like capoeira style, and you kind of fling it straight back, and it gets him right in his hand. He's like, ah, fuck! And these guys are looking hella demoralized. Is there anything else on your turn?
Oh no, that's just my reaction. That's all I can do.
Okay. Oh yes, that's right. Yes. So yeah, these guys. I'm just gonna get rid of these fucking weenies who are no longer of use. Get you out of here. You out of here. You are out of here. So that brings us to Brenna. It is your initiative. What are you doing, pal?
Excellent. Well, first thing on my mouth was, apparently we got a Goliath. And then my stuff was deposited at my feet, and I'm like, well, shit. And I'll be picking up my short sword and dagger and standing up to stab that guy. They're right in front of me.
Sure. Object interaction to grab your sword out of the haversack. Action to attack. Go for it.
Sword and dagger, because I get 2 weapon fighting.
I'll allow it.
Double checking on something really quick. Can I sneak attack feature?
The fact that it is the handy haversack and, what you want is always going to be at the top. I'll hand wave the object interaction to grab both weapons. I
got a foe within 5 feet, so sneak attack.
You also get... Let me just check any benefits you get from being in proximity to Siegfried because of his paladin stuff. While you are conscious, you grant all friendly creatures +3 bonus on saving throws. Okay, but his stuff is mostly on saving throws and initiative. While he's conscious, you and anyone within 10 feet of him can't be frightened. So yeah, you're good basically.
Main hand sword attack, offhand dagger attack for the dual wielding.
Mm-hmm.
Poshmars. Let's see. First one was a 14, second one was a 12.
14 and 12, neither one hits, sadly. He's a big guy.
I don't remember if you do flanking rolls or not.
I will say in this instance, he is heavily flanked, so if you want to...
Alright, well, it gives me advantage on both attack rolls, so...
Yeah. Because... Are you rogue? Do you have rogue levels?
I am.
I'm trying to remember.
I have 2 rogue.
I keep forgetting that you're not just a cleric.
No. I'm a tricky cleric. Alright, this is for first attack.
Yeah.
And then this is for the second attack. For advantage.
24.
It looks like the second. Yeah, the second attack's not gonna hit. Oop.
Yeah, so the short sword definitely takes a chunk out of him. The dagger attack does not. So,
okay.
Yeah, so... 14 points of damage. Anything else on your turn?
I'll point after you the goblin, that one over. The one that said he didn't slit my throat, and point after me like, just don't kill that one. I promised him he wouldn't die. All the others can die.
He is long gone. He has
that's fine.
booked it out the back.
That's fine. In 6 seconds, it'll be like, that one lives. That one lives. The others can die. It's fine.
Okay, so that is Brenna's turn with Errol up next and Siegfried on deck.
So my question is, this sort of amalgamation of barrels and things around here, is this...
Yes.
Like, basically I'm wanting to move 30 feet into this area, but I want to have a clear line of sight of these two guys, and I just want to know how high up these boxes and stuff are, so I'm not like just shooting into a wall.
I will say it's the barrels are stacked about 5-6 feet off the ground. I will say, if you wanted to do that, you also have like crates in front of you,
and then I could aim over their heads.
Yeah, you could.
Probably not.
Yeah,
Goliath,
you could.
To be fair, but, like, I'd probably be online of shooting her in the head if I can.
I will say, if you want to like climb over the boxes, like give me a acrobatics check, DC 10 to just basically cancel out.
Yeah, basically, I want to go here. Because I'm not too fussed about like I want to go to this point here. So acrobatics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just give me a DC 10 acrobatics to just basically low-key parkour your way across this.
11.
Okay. You, it's not glamorous, it's not graceful, but you tuck and roll across the floor, and you're able to reposition yourself. You still have the silent but deadly feature up on Lyre, so. You haven't killed anyone yet or made a critical hit with it yet, but you are still effectively firing. Roll it straight.
Let me just check my bullets, lightning bullets.
I'll say, unless you stated beforehand that you were gonna like put a specific ammo type in this is just gonna be
normal. Yes, I've just realised that I don't
bullets.
have any of those in my inventory, which is weird. So I will. I need to add some bullets to my inventory, so I will just make a tally of how many times I fire, because I don't imagine I'm going to fire as many as I would have. So yes, I'm here.
We'll say just for keeping pacing going, and we'll say that you have enough to reload at least 2 more times on your person. You have what's in the chamber plus your 2 full sets of rounds in easy.
Then I would like. I've already spent my grit point because I only have 1 grit point, don't I?
Yes. So you're moving 30 feet to around here. Is that correct?
To around there. Yeah, and then I'm shooting this guy in the face with a gun. Nothing fancy. I'm not doing any. I have a gun and I'm going to shoot him in the face. That's what I'm going to do. So I will. 29 to hit.
Definitely hits. Roll damage.
14 damage.
Ooh.
Nice.
This one, not quite bloodied, but is. I think you get him in where the shoulder meets the neck, and he's just in a big gout of blood. Just it's so close to the jugular, or what is it, the carotid, whichever artery it is that just spurts like a motherfucker. It's just and he grabs his neck and is just going to attempt to duck behind cover, because that really took a nasty chunk out of him.
My bonus action is I only have 2 weapon fighting, and that's not going to count here, is it?
Not in this circumstance, no.
No. Okay, then I am complete. I have shot the man in his throat, and I am happy.
Okay, so that's Errol's turn with Siegfried on deck, and Siegfried, I think Siegfried in this moment, this is a man who clearly is, his whole deal is redemption and giving people a second chance. So he kind of stands and looms over this guy, and is just going to look down on him. And I think he's going to say, "My friend, I have no wish to hurt people, but you have done a terrible thing by bringing this woman here against her will." And he places his hand on this half-orc's head, and he is going to cast blindness. It's a con save of 14. Now this guy has a pretty good con. Let's see how he does. I will say on a natural 20, Garthok just screams and just pushes back the effects of this power on him, and just
Get out of my head, you...
and just pushes him away. I think on a bonus action, he's going to, seeing that hasn't worked, he's going to cast Shield of Faith on you, Brenna, which is going to grant you a +2 to your AC. And is going to hold concentration on that, and is just going to say, "You will not hurt her while I am here." That is Siegfried's turn. Now it is Garthok's turn, and he, having just shook off this effect, is going to turn to you, Olga, and is going to angrily swing at you. He's going to do a multi-attack. So that's 3 attacks incoming. 13 on the first one. 9 on the second. 11 on the third. Does a 13, 11, or 9 hit you?
Miss.
So all 3 attacks miss you.
If Gorthak has turned around to hit Olga, does that give Brenner an attack of opportunity?
Only if he leaves. Like, those 3 are basically encircling him, so he would have to move away from them.
Okay.
Like, out of their...
Disengage.
Yeah. He could, but he sadly is... wasted his action on trying to attack. He's by no means down, but he is clearly, like, he's just had a chunk took out of him, but he's far from being, like, down. But it does look like that attempt by Siegfried rung his bell a little bit. So that's Garthok's turn. That's now going to be Olga with the remaining class members on deck. What are you doing, Olga?
So I feel like when he was trying to hit me, just for flavor, I just started doing a weird pirouette because I wanted to give my new gunman friend a high five for shooting that guy. So y'all just see this weird over 7 foot tall monk barbarian just pirouette while in a rage, and then just try and get a crisp high five while doing that and avoiding attacks. And I'm just going to wail on this guy that tried to hit me as I'm finishing my pirouette.
Go for it.
That's amazing.
Go for it.
So what I'm going to do is I'll do my first, let's just do an unarmed attack. Because I'm just going to do what Siegfried did and try and put my hand on his head, but I'm smacking him on top of the head instead because I didn't quite get what was going on there.
Okay.
So 23, 24, 26 with the unarmed strike.
Definitely hits.
So that's a 9 for that one.
Okay.
So I'm going to smack him
9
on the top of the
damage.
head. And I am going to use... Oh, wait. Is an unarmed attack technically a strength attack?
I guess.
So I'll get another 2
I mean,
It
points
is
of damage on that.
Yeah, it's a strength or dex based on your build.
Cool. So add another 2 damage on that.
I will say it. Yeah, it's definitely In this scenario, it would totally make sense for it to be that. So, no 2 points of damage.
Sweet. And then
You
oh, there's
smack him
more.
in the head. Yeah. Go on.
Oh, there's more. I smack him on top of the head, and then my 2 astral arms come out, and I'm gonna do a flurry of blows and smack him on the head with 2 more hands.
Roll your attacks.
Astral arms. That's a word. That's a phrase. This.
That's a 19 and a crit.
Roll damage.
I'm sorry. So the first one
No! Go for it.
is a 10. The first one is a 10, and then the crit is a 17.
So 27 points of damage. You
This is very
bloody
confusing for everybody else. I'm sorry. A pirouette, a high five, and a triple head smack.
A high five that probably broke Errol's arm.
you see, Errol, you and Brenna have seen Siegfried do some wild stuff already. You see Olga's hands move so rapidly, and it's just like slap, crack, break, and you can see this guy's jaw fully disconnect on the one side. Like, his bell is rung. He is messed up. On that crit, someone give me another high-low.
High is good for players?
Hi.
It is now. On 2 natural 5s, the other 2 clasp guys start backing away. They do not want the smoke. Brenna, give me an insight check real quick.
19.
On a 19, I will say you have been among the clasp long enough to know how things work. In the clasp, debts are paid in blood. You realize in this moment that this guy has very rapidly put himself in a very desperate situation. He will probably go down fighting, but you realize that if he dies and the rest of his men all fuck off now, there is nothing to stop his superiors from following through on what he was threatening to you. Or there is the possibility now of a proposition being reached where maybe if you were to spare his life, maybe the hit could be called off.
Okay.
So basically, so that was Olga's turn. The thugs are going to, they aren't surrendering, but they are backing off. And that brings us to you, Bren, up next on the initiative. So you are free to do with that knowledge as you so wish.
Is he staggered at all? Like, swaying or anything?
He has thoroughly had his bell rung. He is not, like, dangerously low, but he has definitely had a good 2/3 of his hit points reduced in 2 rounds.
Okay. Brenna is going to be taking her dagger, and I am going to trigger warning this for the viewers because it's going to involve threatening and possible mutilation in some way. And she is going to poke it in a very sensitive place that she is about forehead height with, and say to him, "You live if my family lives. Understood?"
I'm intrigued how you're going to know if he understands, seeing as his jaw is fallen off.
He just has to nod. Not if you understand. Not if you understand. Just not if you understand.
He looks down, sees the blade somewhere
sensitive,
and is going, and with his jaw hanging off on the one side, grits his teeth through the pain, looks at the people encircling him and the members, and seeing how the rest of his group have the funny thing, listeners, about bullies is that the only thing that they respond to is strength. Whether that's strength of physical arms, strength of character, or will, that's the only way you can handle people like this. And in this moment of getting so thoroughly schooled and knowing, that you are serious and understanding that the only reason you are in this scenario is because you yourself were answering a debt, he sieves, takes a deep breath, and nods.
With that nod, I'm going to cast Cure Light Wounds. Oh, Cure Wounds at first level on him.
For how much?
It's 13 and 3, so 16 total.
Errol is going to aim his gun at the two guys that are backing off and be like, get down on the ground, hands behind your head, drop everything you're holding, just to keep them in place, because he wants to pester them later.
They comply. So Garthok, he takes that Cure Wounds. He's still bloodied, but his jaw, being the most grievous injury he has, clicks back into place. He kind of flexes his jaw somewhat and is just like,
I'm getting too old for this line of business.
Harm comes to my husband, my daughter, or my sisters, and the dagger is kind of pressed into that sensitive place, I will come for these. Why don't you go tell them? And I'll pull the dagger away. Just take a half step back so he can leave.
I didn't get far in this job by going back on my word. They'll be safe.
And he turns to these other two thugs and sort of signals them, and he limps away with these two in tow, and you are here in the middle of a warehouse. Some light scattering of chaos, but all in all, for your first little sortie with a new member of the party, this has turned out better than you thought it would probably have gone, given your track record.
Yeah. They leave, I turn to the party. So when did we get a Goliath? That was amazing. I didn't know how I was going to pull that out of my ass before. You guys really came to the door at the right time. Good job. Thanks.
Instead of saying anything, I think Olga's just gonna try and pick Brenna up because I'm supposed to return her. That was my objective. So would you like me to roll for that?
Yeah.
Secondary kidnap.
Grapple check.
And look, I'm up.
That's
It's 26 from me.
Oh yeah, you do it. You do it.
Yeah.
Brenna's getting kidnapped for the second time.
You pick up this halfling and are just you now have a halfling in your grip.
Well, I'm just gonna turn around and go to leave and be like, back we go. Come on, Birdman and Gunman.
Can somebody get my stuff? Somebody grab my stuff so nobody takes it, please.
Gunman, Birdman, and the arms.
Siegfried dutifully scoops up your stuff and shoves it back into his own bag of holding. Turns to you, Errol.
He did not just put a haversack in a bag of holding, did he?
Okay, no, you're quite right. He does not, in fact, do that.
That's going to win a campaign.
No. Let's, slight error.
No. So Siegfried just grabs your stuff, slings it over his shoulder, turns to you, Errol, and says, "Well, I think that means it's time for breakfast."
Oh, that'd be fantastic. They didn't feed me.
That was amazing.
That was Hoard of the Cinder King, a Tales from the Arclight program, written, directed, and produced by Adam X.Smith, executive produced by Adam X.Smith and Nathan T. Dean, game design by Adam X.Smith and Rebecca Reeg, original character designs by Jojo Smith and Mado Chadebec. Additional editing, sound design, and original title music composed by Myles Curwen. Additional sound engineering by Gunner. Additional music provided by Incompetech and composed by Kevin MacLeod. Sound effects sourced from freesounds.org and beats by talent on YouTube. Tales from the Arclight is made possible through Spotify for Creators, formerly Anchor.fm. Engage with us on Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky at the links in the description.